Men have withdrawn from society as women shame them for leaving. This is actually happening. Women are shaming men on social media for having left society, dating, and relationships. Today's video comes from Steph Marcel. Her channel will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go and check out her other content. Why are women shaming men on social media for leaving society? And what does that mean for women going forward? Watch to the end of the video to have all of those questions answered. Don't forget to follow us over on Rumble. Our Rumble's linked in the description of the video. And don't let them tell you that you will own nothing and be happy. Go and check out Angry's Crypto Academy to learn how to buy, sell, and trade crypto while making massive profit. You can also scan the QR code on the screen, like the video, turn on notifications, and hit the subscribe button to help push us out into the YouTube algorithm. And now let's begin.
They don't want you? They don't want you? You actually have to be likable to find someone? The fact that women don't need men to survive anymore has caused the male loneliness epidemic. Men had to manufacture a sense of need for their presence. And you don't know how to be desirable to women, so you're lonely. Oh. Thoughts and prayers.
Are some women so delusional they think they can openly and freely disparage men without consequence? Yes and no. Yes, because they are delusional, but also no, because they live in a social and cultural bubble that reinforces these delusions to a level of normality. They have no idea how the world works and how men are essential to almost every part of their lives. To the food on their plates, to the homes that they live in, to the roads that they drive, to the technology that they use, and to the conception that gave them life.
But here's the interesting thing about this that I've come to realize. We're simply just seeing the true depths of female nature and what women actually think of men. So why would you want to be in a relationship with someone who only is keeping their mouth shut and not telling you how they really feel about you because they need you? The very moment that they believe that they no longer need you, this is the behavior that they exhibit, right? Downright disdain for you. So while there are so many guys who will start saying stupid things on social media, like, and wishing negativity towards individuals who behave this way, bro, they never actually liked us. So now they're just telling us how they truly feel, and you're becoming emotional because they're telling us how they truly feel. In other words, you want to live in a lie. You want the lie. You want the fantasy of believing that they actually like you. They like us. They don't like us. They've never liked us. They are revealing how they actually feel when they truly believe that they no longer need us. And you're angry at them for telling us how they truly feel. This is the delusion that so many dudes deal with. So many men want to live in the blue pill world so badly. They want to live in the illusion and the delusion that that we are actually loved and valued, when it is simply based on the conditional nature of what we can provide and what we can do for them. Because as soon as they don't need us anymore, they immediately humiliate us and want to get rid of us. And I'm exhausted with men because they are getting angry that women are simply being honest. It's crazy. And there's a lot of you who are watching my videos who will act like that, it's incorrect for them to say these things. No, it's completely correct for them to tell us exactly how they think and exactly how they feel, so we can act accordingly and protect ourselves accordingly. If you want to go back and live in the blue pill world and live in live in the lies and the delusion and the illusion that we were ever liked and ever cared for, that it's nonsense. We were never loved. We were never wanted. It was always based around our value and utility. Okay? And as soon as they don't need us anymore, they basically treat us extremely poorly. You're fools. Those of you that refuse to acknowledge this, you're fools, and you're living in a delusion. And that's why you suffer, and that's why you struggle, and that's why it's not going to get any better. Because you refuse to accept reality for how it is. The only things that women will ever love unconditionally, and that's even still a maybe, are children and pets.
In conjunction with this degradation of men, we've given all the power to women. We've raised women up, as we should, but not to be equals to men, but to levels far above men, telling women we are far superior and don't need men in our lives.
Raising women up to the level of equals to men just because on the grounds that they are women ultimately leads to superiority. For example, think about this very carefully. If I have to work extremely hard to gain the things that I own, while someone else says, well, you're more equal than I am. So you have far more than I do, right? And it's not fair. So now we change things in society so that the other person now has as much as I do, even though I have to work far harder than they do, right? Think about the logistics here. So now they look at you, they're like, so they were given things for free. They were handed everything. So we have so basically they get special privileges, we get special punishments, and they look at it like, well, if I'm getting this and it's so easy for me, while you on the other hand, you're suffering and you're struggling, that means I must be better than you. They don't even take into consideration that they're handed everything. It's not equal. It's not the same amount of it's not the same amount of effort. We have to put in, as men, we have to put in far more effort, but they don't care. So now they view it as, well, you know what? We're better than you. And so that basically means that we also deserve even more than you. I'm telling you guys, the same women who are now criticizing what modern feminism have become are the same ones who were proponents of it. So now it's all about preserving what they have. So basically, they got everything that they wanted. They got more than they could have ever imagined. And now everything is beginning to degrade. And what these ladies are doing is they are now trying to fight to preserve all of the ill-gotten gains. It's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely insane. I said this for the last 10 years. I said women would say that feminism got us everything that we wanted. Now let's fight it together. Feminism got us everything that we wanted. Now let's fight for one another.
This superiority complex leads to sweeping generalizations like believe all women, as if all women are innocent, are always the victims, can do no harm, do not lie, cheat, abuse, or are violent. The media further fuels this narrative, often sentencing men to trial by media, portraying men as the predators and abusers, and should lose their job, be cancelled, and have their lives ruined without even being found guilty of a crime. Some Hollywood celebrities, influencers, podcasters, YouTubers also echo these same sentiments, deepening these narratives throughout society. This mass fight and war against men just drives a wedge between men and women, because it has led men to distance themselves from women out of fear of being falsely accused, mislabeled, and potentially dumped, fired, or cancelled for no reason. The workplace environment has become an HR hotspot, where men aren't willing to be alone in a room with a woman. They censor their conversations around women, and overall just distrust women and question their motivations and intentions. And some men have even checked out of the dating pool, believing the effort isn't worth the cost, because the likelihood of finding a woman who offers an equal exchange of value is unlikely. Now, what many women fail to understand is that they may think they have won by rising above men and making them feel dispensable, but in reality, it only leads to self-destruction.
Tell me why every day I go out looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening.
Here's a comment that I said, and it's very true. If you want to destroy a society, destroy the men. If you want to destroy the men, use the women to destroy the men. And if you want to destroy the women, let the women destroy themselves.
And yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever. Oh my God, like please. I'll take a construction worker cat call at this point. Please.
The same Gallup poll I referred to in part 1, which found that men in the US aged 15 to 34 are amongst the loneliest in the West, also found that the second most lonely group are women aged 35 to 54. It's funny how the headline is about the men, when in reality, women are not too far behind. If I were to speculate, I would say these women are most likely unmarried, don't have kids, and are working unfulfilling jobs. And these are not out of choice. They do want to be in a loving relationship with a quality man and have a family and kids to care for, and maybe have a part-time or full-time job that provides them some form of satisfaction outside the family. Their desperation is high because they're nearing the end of their fertility window.
See, it's nonsense. Basically, they want all the benefits of a relationship, but none of the consequences. They want all of the goodies, but none of the struggles and hardships that come with said relationship. There's a song, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That basically just more or less sums up how women operate and how women think. Women just basically want an endless cycle of fun, endless cycle of wonder. That's why you can have a woman who's in an amazing relationship with an amazing person, and then she says he's her best friend, but she just cannot be with him anymore because her hypergamy is telling her that there's constantly something better for her out there, and she needs to go out there and find it. And then you wonder why men are choosing to focus on themselves, their relationship with God, and build themselves up and protect their assets using crypto. In a world pushing you to own nothing and be happy, crypto is your key to survival. Join Angry's Crypto Academy to master buying, selling, and trading crypto. Make huge profits and safeguard your wealth. Plus, discover the one crypto virtually no one is talking about, poised to create new millionaires in the upcoming bull run. The link is in the description of the video below. Go check it out now.
Finding that partner they want to start a family with, and they see the doors closing. They potentially also spent the past decade adhering to the modern feminist belief that they don't need a man, and they should focus on themselves and their careers, only now to come to the realization that those ambitions provide little life satisfaction, especially as they get older and see their friends get married and start families. And thus, all the extracurricular activities with friends and colleagues start to dry up. You don't have to look far on social media to see evidence of this, where women are complaining they can't find a quality man, that they are alone and want to start a family. But few men want to be with these women because they are often self-centered, entitled, bring little to the relationship, and don't understand how to be a valuable partner to the men they desire. This is especially a problem for younger generations, because if women, social media, news media, and society make it their mission to destroy men, then how are they to develop, grow, and become the real men that women will come to desire, to become their husbands and father of their children? We are removing outlets for young boys and men. For example, less recreation time and
Do you notice the nonsense? Becoming the kinds of men that women will love and desire? Guys, this is crazy. Do you understand that the way we operate as men today is that the more you try to change yourself the more you try to change yourself as a man to make yourself desirable to modern women, is the more you destroy yourself and change yourself into something that you will not like. The more you will change yourself into the worst version of yourself. It's true. Because as men, if you're not a loser, then you're working towards your goals. You're working towards maybe becoming an electrical engineer. You're working towards, building a business or a brand that will make you happy, that will give you purpose in your life. You're working towards taking care of yourself, staying in shape, but not maybe not necessarily walking around with abs or with abs or a giant chest, or whatever. You're basically a version of yourself that is happy, healthy, and content. And what ends up happening is that you start trying to pursue a woman and turning yourself into something that you're not. You end up getting a job that you hate, but hey, maybe it'll make you enough money so that you can make a woman happy. You end up working long, miserable hours to the point that you have no real time for yourself anymore. But hey, this is going to get you enough money and create enough value and perception of value so that you can attract a woman. So now you're no longer playing video games or watching television or going out with the boys. You're throwing away all of that just so that you can attract a woman who will ultimately tell you that you were never enough for her and that it's your fault that the relationship fell apart. Ugh. This is the reason why black pill is exploding so much and it's becoming so prominent, because men are realizing red pill told us that things don't operate the way that we think, that the way that we thought that they do. Black pill shows us just how dark it really is. Like, guys, we are going to enter, it's already happening, but it's only going to accelerate an entire society of just extreme negative, pessimistic thinking. Like everywhere you go, it's just going to be pessimism, lack of faith in society, lack of faith in the future, complete distrust of the system, complete distrust of everyone around us. And it's not, when I say this, I don't mean I don't mean 10 years from now. Oh, I'm talking about in the next couple, it's happening right now. but it's only going to accelerate because it's so many people right now. But it's going to be most people. I'm talking about the next couple of months, over the next year to 1 to 2 years. This is how serious it is. I'm not talking about 10 years. I'm not talking about 5 years. I'm talking about right now. It's only going to just continue to grow rapidly and become more normalized as you're going to see more and more people exhibiting signs of complete distrust of everyone. No one is going to tell the truth anymore, by the way. Everyone is going to start lying because they're going to come to the conclusion that telling the truth is how you end up being removed from this realm of the existence. You tell the truth, you go to the doctor, they ask if you're not feeling well, if you're miserable, or you're struggling in life, you say you're sad. Oh, well, now you're a danger to yourself. Maybe you need to be committed, or you need to be put on meds. I'm not lying to you. I'm being completely honest. A police officer pulls you over. They say you were driving, do you know how fast you were going? You respond and say, well, yeah, I was, how fast, well, what was I doing? They said you were going over the speed limit. How fast were you going? You say I was going, well, I think I was going 60. The speed limit is 60. The speed limit is 55. Do you understand what you were doing? Do you understand how serious this is? Officer, I was going with the flow of traffic. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Okay, sir. I'm going to give you a field sobriety test. Field sobriety test, sir. I was only going 5 miles over. Yeah, you were not paying attention. You were distracted. Were you on? You were on your cell phone. And also I smell pot. I could smell it on you. What? Are you serious? And they're just looking for a reason so they can search the car. Because legally, if they say that they smell something, that gives them probable cause to search you. That's why cops always say they smell something, because it gives them probable cause. All right. So now they're searching your stuff. They're tearing things apart. They're trying to give you a field sobriety test. If you're dumb enough to take it, the field sobriety tests are not designed for you to pass them. Field sobriety tests are designed to give them enough ammunition to arrest you. When a cop says he wants to give you a field sobriety test, it means he wants to he's trying to gain probable cause to arrest you. That's the purpose of a field sobriety test. All right. So the simple response is going to be now, no, sir, I don't know how fast was I going? I was going the speed limit, sir. Blah blah blah. Just be honest with me. This guys, just be honest with me is the worst thing you can possibly do. Being honest with police, being honest with law enforcement, being honest in relationships. A woman, just be honest with me. Tell me the truth. You tell her the truth. Now she uses that she weaponizes that against you and uses it as a reason to to uh, to extract wealth and more additional wealth and resources from you in divorce court or in family court, okay, or emotional blackmail. I'm just giving you this example right now where everything can and will be used against you that you say. Everything. Okay, so basically it's a complete distrust. You look at the system, you realize that everything is being taken from you. They tell you that things are going great, the economy is wonderful, as everyone is suffering and struggling. Guys, I wanted to buy some chips earlier. All right, it's like for a large bag of nachos, it's almost $8 at the grocery store. And there's some of you fools who are like, well, you shouldn't be buying stuff from the grocery. You're supposed to go to specialty grocers, and that's not good for you anyway. You freaking idiots. Okay? I'm telling you guys, there's so many people who are so complacent and they act like everything, like, oh, if you want to eat a burger, well, bro, it's like $12 for this burger. You shouldn't be eating hamburgers in the first place. Do you see how stupid these people are? It's basically these are agents of the matrix, agents of oppression, where every time you point out how messed up society is and how ridiculous things are, they immediately come back and tell you that it's you, and you shouldn't be doing this, or you shouldn't be complaining. You look at what's everything, guys. These people only exist to try to keep you locked into the system and the cycle that's occurring, and to shut you up and to make you complain, to make you to make you to make you compliant. Compliant. It's sick. It's a sick society. It's a sick reality.
sports and schools to blow off steam. And we wonder why so many young kids, and especially boys, are being diagnosed with hyperactivity disorders. Very few boys now go to Boy Scouts or some equivalent, which gives them a space amongst men to engage in male bonding activities and camaraderie.
There is no Boy Scouts anymore. Boy Scouts are now it's basically now the Boys and Girl Scouts. While the Girl Scouts exist for girls, because it's very important for young girls to have spaces for themselves. There's no more Boy Scouts. There are no more spaces for boys or men. Those have all been taken away, and it's deliberate. If you look at things like Lyft now, Lyft and Uber, they now have like I think Uber does it too. Lyft, they now have like a separate service for women where basically female drivers can choose to only pick up female customers, and female customers can now choose to only access female drivers. But what that does is it creates a division. So that means that it creates a bias where female drivers can make more money than male drivers because they have the option of picking up only female drivers who are also looking only for female drivers, but also picking up men at the same time. Of course, if they tried to reverse the system, it would never happen. It would be found illegal. But because it's discriminating against men and not women, and they're doing it in the name of safety, you notice how they always put the word safety behind it? It's deemed as perfectly rational because everything that they want to do, anything that is tyrannical or illegal, they put the word safety behind it, and that somehow makes it constitutionally viable.
Men need their spaces to just be men, just like women need their spaces to just be women. There used to be many gentlemen's clubs or male health clubs that provided these bonding spaces, but a few vocal feminist women have protested, claiming they are discriminatory.
There used to be, that's what she said, gentlemen's clubs, because that's another thing that's passing away. Adult clubs for men, where men would go to these clubs and they would engage with other men and they would engage with women. Men are no longer going, these clubs are closing rapidly. They've been replaced by Only Fools and Lonely Fans, where men spend money online to engage in a safe environment. Safe, because the only safe way right now to engage with a woman is behind a computer screen in an environment that is monitored and controlled and taxed. Because that's the reason why these platforms are allowed to exist, because they are monitored, they are controlled, and they are taxed. And it tells men that these are the environments that you have that are now safe for you to engage in intimacy behind a screen. Behind a screen where there's social distance. Do you get it now, guys? Everything is about social distance. We live in a society where everything is now about maintaining social distance, because if you don't, it's dangerous. So by being safely behind the computer screen, you're maintaining a certain amount of social distance from a potential danger. Because people relate, being too close to someone else having is now dangerous. Speech, guys, it's all about making us socially distant from one another and taxing engagement
On the basis of sex, and should allow women entry and membership. We call men's only spaces sexist for not allowing women, but women's only gyms, camps, events, and spas are not. Where can men go to just be men? If you're watching, let me know in the comments below. Where do you go to just be amongst men and feel totally free?
Well, here's what they used to. I mean, she's acting like she doesn't know video games existed. Video games were basically the last space where men went to basically be among other men and feel totally free. And we can see what's happened to that, where now it's being monitored, it's being controlled, it's being censored, it's being curated. Certain types of games are no longer allowed to be made. Everything includes includes some form of messaging, because even you can no longer look at beautiful characters in games. The male gay, the male gaze in video games is problematic. So characters in video games, this has been happening for years now, have to be designed in a certain way to look basically like realistic representations of actual women. And even if those representations are not the most attractive and appealing, everything has to be centered around a lens of DEI to be diverse, equitable, and inclusive. And we can see that all of these companies, one by one, are collapsing. That we're in bed with companies like Sweet Baby Inc. So where are men going? Men are going home, shutting the door, and going back in time. They can't actually go back in time, but they're going back to the oldies. All right, they're going back. They're going offline. They're playing retro consoles. They're reading books. They're reading the Bible, and they're disappearing. It's the last stand of man. It's not the last stand. It's basically men regrouping. Okay, learning how to be stoic, learning how to be alone, learning how to control lust and desire, and simply exist and survive in a society and in a world that does not like them and has never liked them. Society never liked us. It just needed us. And as soon as it no longer needed us, I believe that it no longer needed us, it started treating us extremely poorly.
The progressive leftist, woke, liberal women have no incentive to provide a balanced perspective, because that would reduce or remove the agenda they want to push for their own gains. If only one side of the truth and narrative are continuously pushed, it has a cultural impact where incorrect beliefs become the normal group attitude. And it only hurts women, because often what women say and what they respond to are two very different things. They will say one thing for social cohesion or groupthink, but act in a completely opposite way. For example, there is a narrative pushed that women want soft, caring, emotionally vulnerable men, but they also punish those men and feel unattracted to them if they do express feelings or are softer, vulnerable.
Notice what they say and what they respond to are very different things. There was a guy back in the 90s. He was one of the OG PUAs or OG MRAs, whatever the hell you want to call him. His name was Ross Jeffries. I don't know if this guy is still around. But he was a PUA. Let me see here, and I'll read a little bit about Ross to you. So Neil Strauss, in his 2005 book *The Game*, described Jeffries as the godfather of the modern pickup artist community. Yeah, and he's known by his name is Paul Jeffrey Ross, but he's known by his pseudonym Ross Jeffries, and he's an American author and pickup artist. And in 1988, Jeffrey started to study seduction. He taught workshops and promoted a collection of neurolinguistic programming techniques called speed seduction. His teachings claim to show men how to create the desired emotional state in a woman by leading her imagination for the purpose of seduction, basically feeding the delusion, rather than to focus on a specific behavior or action of hers as a desired outcome, basically science. In 1992, I think he was actually on the Oprah Winfrey show at one point. In 1992, he was he was on a segment of NBC's Fate Daniels show, appearing with men's rights activists there. That's why I mentioned MRA, saying that I think he was an MRA. Men's rights activist Mel Fight and feminist and ethicist Bruce Weinstein. Jeffries has also been featured on the Dr. Phil show, the Montel Williams show, the Jane Whitney show, and the Daily Show. Maybe it was the Fate Daniel show that I saw the clip from. It wasn't Oprah. It was one of them. I'm willing to admit that may have been wrong. I just thought it was Oprah. The Jane Whitney show and the Daily Show, and is a self-described speed seduction expert. In 2000, Jeffries was featured on Louis Theroux' Weird Weekends. In 2000, Jeffries sued John White, also known as Don Steele, alleging invasion of privacy, business interference, and slander and libel. In his book, The Game, published in 2005, author Neil Strauss described his experience shadowing Jeffries during Strauss's investigation of the seduction community. He writes that Strauss acted as the mentor to Mystery and himself. Jeffries is of, yeah. So, I mean, guys, you understand. This is the reality. Men have withdrawn from society as women shame them for leaving, but ultimately, this is leading to women finding themselves socially isolated and struggling to survive. And it's only going to get much more difficult going forward. Don't forget that 45% of all women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be childless and single in come 2030. And that's not including single mothers. When you factor them in, that's around 70%. That means that around 70% of women will be struggling to survive over the next 5 years. and it's going to be extremely difficult. What are men going to do? Men are just going to adjust and adapt, because the average man can happily live in a shoebox at the side of the road, while the average woman cannot. This is a fact. This is what we've always known. But of course, women believe that they don't need men. What they've really done is they've pushed away their providers and protectors and traded the safety net of the family unit for the safety net of the state and Sims. And now they're basically going to see the consequences of this. The reason, of course, is because they don't have agency. They are short sighted, and they cannot see how their short term actions lead to long term consequences, which is the reason why women need men to help provide them with stability through reasoning, because we reason differently. Men reason using facts, women reason using feelings, and it's only after their feelings have betrayed them and they've lost everything do they then start looking at the actual facts and saying, yeah, my feelings betrayed me, I lost everything, I should never have left my husband.
Side. Women also fight for equality of outcome in the working world, but aren't willing to do the long hours, dirty, and dangerous jobs that men do. They only want the CEO and board positions to be equal, without having to take the long, hard, and sometimes personally damaging road to get there. At the end of the day, the idea that women should overtake men, and that men should basically live their lives in exile without consequence to women, is laughable. But unfortunately, we are seeing the consequences of this mentality and reality play out, and it's not looking hopeful or beneficial to anyone. In this video, and I hope it comes across in all my videos, is a message that men and women need one another. We are equals in our value, but
Men and women need one another. We're equals in our value, but we serve different roles. So basically, we should have the same opportunity, the same representation, the same resources, but we should not have to be forced to put in the same amount of investment to gain this. In other words, men should have to work harder than women to provide for society, while women enjoy the same benefits of that men do. So men have to labor hard. Men should labor more, while women enjoy the same amount of value that men receive for said labor or more, but we're still equal. We're still just as valuable, but we have different roles. So we should still get the same outcome, but we should not have to put in the same amount of value to receive said outcome. This is delusion, but welcome to the reality that we've been living in forever. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.